The Young and the Restless spoilers Thurdays full episodes October 17, 2024. The sun had barely risen over Genoa City, casting a pale light through the expansive windows of Chancellor Abbott. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with tension and unspoken grievances. Billy Abbott stood by his office window, staring out at the sprawling cityscape, his mind racing with thoughts of his mother's impending return. Jill Abbott, the matriarch of the Abbott family and the owner of Chancellor Abbott, was a force to be reckoned with. Her influence over the company was absolute, and her return promised to bring about significant changes that Billy found increasingly difficult to accept. Jill's call had come late the previous night, her voice unwavering as she asserted her authority. "Billy, you need to follow my directives. Chancellor Abbott is mine to run, and I expect you to comply with my decisions regarding all projects and personnel." Billy had listened, frustration boiling beneath his calm exterior. "Mom, I respect your experience, but I'm handling things just fine. Phyllis and I are making great progress. Why do you need to interfere?" Jill's reply was swift and final. "Because you're not seeing the bigger picture, Billy. I know what's best for the company, and I won't let you undermine my authority." Feeling more like a puppet than a son, Billy struggled to maintain his composure. He had always admired his mother's tenacity and business acumen, but her relentless control left him feeling suffocated. He wasn't just a child to Jill, he was expected to be the next leader of Chancellor Abbott, a role he hadn't fully embraced yet. Determined to assert his independence, Billy decided to sever ties with Jill. The decision weighed heavily on him, but he knew it was necessary for his own sanity and the future of Chancellor Abbott. "I need to do this my way, Mom. I can't let you dictate every move I make." Jill's reaction was immediate and fierce. "You're overstepping, Billy. You don't understand the complexities of running a major corporation. I built this empire, and I won't watch you dismantle it with your reckless decisions." As the verbal sparring continued, Billy's thoughts drifted to Phyllis Summers, his trusted partner in both business and life. Together, they had revitalized Chancellor Abbott, introducing innovative projects and fostering a collaborative environment. Phyllis had been more than just an employee, she was a cornerstone of Billy's vision for the company's future. However, Jill had other plans. She demanded that Billy fire Phyllis and reinstate Lily Winters, believing that Lily's presence would restore balance and order to the company. Billy vehemently disagreed. "Phyllis is essential to our success. She brings creativity and drive that you're stifling with your outdated methods." Lily, on the other hand, had become a source of tension within the Abbott family. Once a beloved figure, her relationship with Billy had soured over time. She was now seen as a divisive force, someone who had sown discord and mistrust within the family. Billy viewed her as a virus infecting the family dynamic, someone whose influence had been toxic and destructive. But Lily wasn't alone in her quest for revenge. She had found an unlikely ally in Jill Abbott. Together, they formed a formidable alliance aimed at undermining Billy's authority and reclaiming control over Chancellor Abbott. Jill's support lent Lily the power she needed to challenge the Abbott legacy, and Lily's vendetta against Victor Newman and Nikki Reed added another layer of complexity to the already tangled web of alliances and rivalries. Victor Newman, the formidable head of Newman Enterprises, had always viewed Jill with a mix of disdain and wariness. Her antics and manipulations were tiresome, and he had no patience for her schemes. When Jill aligned herself with Lily, Victor saw it as the culmination of her attempts to destabilize both his company and the Abbott family. "Jill, your game's end now," Victor had declared during their last confrontation. "I won't tolerate any more interference from you." But Jill was not one to back down easily. Her latest move was a direct threat to Victor. She had called him late one evening, her voice cold and menacing. "Victor, be careful. If you continue to stand in the way of what's rightfully mine, I won't let Newman Enterprises remain unscathed." Victor's frustration was palpable. He knew Jill's threats were serious, and the implications of her control over Chancellor Abbott could not be underestimated. Yet, he remained steadfast, refusing to let her dictate terms. "You're delusional if you think you can take me down, Jill. Newman Enterprises is too strong for your petty schemes." Meanwhile, within the walls of Chancellor Abbott, Billy and Phyllis were grappling with their own set of challenges. The arrival of Lily had introduced a new level of complexity to their operations.
But the Abbott household was not the only place where turmoil brewed. Lucy, Billy's daughter, was caught in the crossfire of the family's internal strife. Her father, Daniel Romolotti, was wrongfully accused of murdering her mother, Heather. The evidence against Daniel was overwhelming: a blood-soaked handkerchief and Heather's phone found in their home. Despite Daniel's pleas of innocence, the evidence seemed insurmountable. Lucy was torn between the love for her father and the damning evidence presented by Detective Chance Chancellor. Every time she saw Daniel in handcuffs, her heart ached with a mix of fear, confusion, and doubt. Her best friend, Faith, stood by her side, offering unwavering support. Faith knew the truth, that Daniel was innocent and that someone had orchestrated the entire setup to frame him. One evening, Lucy found herself overwhelmed by emotion. She sat alone in her room, tears streaming down her face, struggling to reconcile the conflicting emotions inside her. Faith entered the room, sitting beside her and wrapping an arm around her shoulders. "Lucy, you have to believe in your dad. He wouldn't do this. I know he didn't," Faith whispered, her voice filled with conviction. But Lucy couldn't shake the pain and doubt. "What if he did, Faith? The evidence is so strong. I don't know what to believe anymore." Faith took a deep breath, her own eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Because this isn't about the evidence, Lucy. Someone is framing him. Sharon is involved, and Chance is falling for her manipulation. We need to find a way to prove Daniel's innocence." Lucy looked up, her eyes red and puffy. "But how? Chance is convinced he did it, and Jill is turning Billy against Phyllis and Lily. It feels like everything is falling apart." Faith squeezed her shoulder gently. "We have to keep fighting. We have to find the real killer and expose Sharon's plan. You're the one thing keeping your dad going. He needs to know that you believe in him." Determined to uncover the truth, Faith and Lucy began to piece together the clues that could exonerate Daniel. They delved into the details of Heather's last days, searching for inconsistencies and potential motives. Their investigation led them to suspect Sharon, who had always harbored resentment towards Daniel and the Abbott family. Sharon's cunning nature made her a prime suspect, and they were convinced she had orchestrated the entire setup to frame Daniel. Back at Chancellor Abbott, the tension between Jill, Billy, and Lily reached a boiling point. Jill's influence over Lily had made her an unpredictable ally, one whose loyalty was as volatile as it was strategic. Lily's desire for revenge against Victor and Nikki aligned perfectly with Jill's goals of undermining the Newman Empire. Billy, feeling the weight of his mother's expectations and the strain on his professional relationships, knew he had to act swiftly to protect Chancellor Abbott and his own autonomy. Phyllis nodded, her resolve matching his own. "I agree, Billy. Let's show Jill and Lily that we're not going to back down. We've built something great here, and we're not going to let it fall into their hands." As Billy and Phyllis worked tirelessly to safeguard their company, Jill and Lily were equally determined to reclaim control. Their alliance was strategic, combining Jill's authoritative presence with Lily's desire for retribution. Together, they posed a significant threat to the Abbott Empire, one that Billy and Phyllis were keen to neutralize. Meanwhile, Chance Chancellor continued his investigation into Heather's murder. Despite the evidence pointing towards Daniel, Chance couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. His instincts told him that Sharon was involved, and he was determined to prove Daniel's innocence. However, Sharon's influence over the community and her ability to manipulate those around her made it increasingly difficult for Chance to see the truth. One evening, Jill received a phone call from Victor Newman. His voice was laced with frustration and warning. "Jill, don't push this any further. If you continue to meddle with Newman Enterprises, there will be consequences." Jill's response was cold and unyielding. "Victor, you and I both know that Chancellor Abbott has more power than you realize. Don't underestimate me." Victor sighed, knowing that negotiating with Jill was futile. "Just remember, Jill, Newman Enterprises isn't someone you can bully without repercussions." Unbeknownst to Victor, Jill had already set her plans in motion. She was leveraging Lily's vendetta to create a rift within Newman Enterprises, hoping to destabilize the company from within. Lily's deep-seated resentment towards Victor and Nikki provided the perfect opportunity for Jill to exploit, ensuring that her own influence remained unchallenged. Back at the Abbott household, the strain was taking its toll on Billy. His relationship with Phyllis was being tested, not just by external pressures, but also by the constant interference from his mother. The once harmonious partnership now faced threats from all sides, forcing Billy to confront the reality that maintaining Chancellor Abbott's success required navigating a labyrinth of family drama and corporate warfare. In the midst of all this, Lucy's efforts to clear her father's name were beginning to bear fruit. With Faith's unwavering support, they uncovered critical evidence that implicated Sharon in the setup. Hidden correspondences, manipulated timelines, and witness testimonies all pointed towards Sharon's involvement. Armed with this information, Lucy and Faith approached Chance with their findings. Chance listened intently, his skepticism gradually giving way to realization. "This changes everything," he admitted. "If Sharon is behind this, then Daniel is indeed innocent. We need to act quickly to prevent any further manipulation." With new determination, Chance launched a cove